Welcome back to Perkins Pipes, my friends. You've heard me say this before, that I've had an episode I couldn't wait to record. I was telling the truth before, but it pales in comparison to how excited I am about this video. I've been waiting for this for so long. I've been waiting to bring out this particular pipe. It is the Golden Waffle Pipe, handmade by Caleb at the Catholic Pipe Company. He made this because of my new book. It is out, and today is going to be the unboxing video. Now, you know how my videos always begin. Let's get this guy lit and let's get to talking. I'm going to have to postpone that for a moment because what I want to do right now is do the unboxing, and that takes way more coordination than I've got to try to handle smoking a pipe while cutting boxes open. So right now, we're going to do the unboxing, then we're going to light this guy up, and boy, are we going to talk about something special. Now, I will say I've got out this gorgeous purple knife that my children gave me a few years ago for Christmas. Purple is the color of the school where I'm teaching now, so it seemed appropriate since this is a book that has to do with education. So very exciting stuff here. Let's get this guy opened up. And what do we find? But of course, we've got a bunch of paper packing in here. Take all that out. Oh my goodness. Packing slips, packing paper. Look at all of that. And oh yes, we've got the Golden Waffle, the paperback editions. I'm going to set this aside because we're going to look at that in a moment. But right now, we have another box to open. So let's get this box coming around here. Oh, this is a big guy. This is a heavy dude. So let's see what we can get with this guy. And oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's this heavy, can only mean one thing, that this is the box that contains the hardcover edition. So again, we got all of our great packing material in here, making sure everything's shipped properly and didn't get messed up. And boy, there's a lot of this stuff in here. There's the packing slip, and what do you know? But wow, here is the book. So let's get these boxes aside and let's see what we got going on. Okay, so now we've got everything unboxed. Let's get this guy lit, and friends, let's get to talking. So, had to bring out my favorite Lane RLP6 for such a personal and exciting video as this. And there's a reason I'm wearing my hat that says Austin Clothing Company. We'll talk about why that is in a minute. I've talked about this hat before, but there's a particular reason why I had to wear this hat for this video. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. Here's the paperback. Again, the Golden Waffle Principle, Finding Meaning in Teaching. So, longtime watchers of the channel know I was honored to be named Indiana Teacher of the Year in 2014. So, in 2024, I started thinking, hey, I want to do something to recognize, kind of celebrate the 10th anniversary of that. And so I pulled together a bunch of essays that I had written over the past decade, edited, changed, added, subtracted, wrote a whole bunch of new material as well, and sought out a publisher. I found an educational publisher in Michigan. Co-Grounded is the name of the company. And I found them because, well, the founder of Co-Grounded is a dear friend of mine. So he said, let me take a look at it. Let me see if it'd be something that we'd be interested in publishing. They said yes, and next thing you know, we're off to the races. I'm so honored, truly blessed, to have some blurbs for some pretty major educators. Kate Smith is an award-winning educator from Australia, dear friend of mine. She's on the front. It says, "A world of deliciously written essays." So thank you to Kate for that. On the back, we got blurbs from Ed Coleman, who is a Milken award-winning teacher and national board certified teacher in Virginia. My friend Gary Abood from Michigan. He was also 2014 Michigan Teacher of the Year. Dave McGinnis, who's a professor of education at Taylor University, and Kathy Nimmer, 2015 Indiana Teacher of the Year, and has done more things in education than you could possibly shake a stick at. So I was very grateful for their blurbs that they offered to the book. Now, like I say, this is, you can kind of see here, the paperback version of the book. Now, as you saw in the unboxing, we also have a hardcover. And you're saying, okay, well, what's the big deal, Steve? Looks pretty much like the paperback. Yes, it does, but the front flap has additional information, and the back flap has a picture of a guy you probably know. The author bio as well there. Everybody say, ooh. Everybody say, ah. And when I was working with the publisher, I had forgotten, I guess, I'm sure they told me, but what the inside of the hardcover would look like. And as you're going to see, it is printed so that it is the same on the hardcover. And a lot of times, it used to be you take the hardcover off and it'd be just a plain cover, right, on a hardcover book. Well, now they've got, so it's got that same cover as well. If you want the dust jacket, though, to protect that, you can. And you say, well, okay, this is all well and good. What's that got to do with your hat? Well, I've mentioned my son many, many times. Austin, he is an industrial designer. And the publisher, we were talking about who's going to design the book and so forth. I mentioned, I said, my son kind of does some stuff. They said, well, let's reach out to him, see if he'd be interested, see if that would be a good fit. Turned out it was. And the publishing company, Co-Grounded, employed my son Austin. We'll see what shows up here in the video, but right here, the cover design by Austin Perkins. So he did the cover design for all this and the layout on the pages, including the design of the chapter headings. Let's see if we can get that in the shot there. Got these circles that mix up the waffle theme. So, why golden waffle? I've already been asked that a lot. And by the way, I got to say, I've been so appreciative of people who have already been emailing me, messaging me, people who have purchased the book. I've got so much to share with you in this video. So hang tight, folks. Get that pipe well lit, well packed, and settle in, because we got some good stuff to talk about. People have been asking me, where did that title come from? I can tell you it wasn't my idea. I had a different idea for the title, and the publisher said, well, you know, probably need something a little more exciting than that. I'm an academic. I had more of an academic sort of title. And they said, no, we need something a little more snazzy, right? Something got some kapow to it. So I had made a reference to waffles in the introduction to the book. There was a man named Alfred Korzybski who wrote about language and talked about how words are time binders. Words can bind a concept in time and carry it over from one time period to another. For example, if I told you that I had a golden waffle for breakfast, you would immediately have an image in your mind. You could imagine me sitting down to breakfast. You could imagine what a waffle looks like. If I were teaching, say, an elementary class, I could tell the elementary students that and then ask them to spell waffle, W-A-F-F-L-E. Could give them some paper and crayons and ask them to draw waffles, and I'm sure they would come up with golden brown masterpieces. Now, what comes up in your mind when I say the word education? What comes to your mind when I say the word teaching? We all have a connection with education in one way or another. Right? We were students. Maybe we're parents, we have children in school. Maybe we're grandparents, we have grandchildren who are going to school, nieces and nephews. Maybe we are teachers or professors ourselves, or administrators, or connected to the education world somehow. And what I hope for most people is that the word education, the word teaching, would connote something positive. But we all know that it doesn't always. What you're going to find in my book is a collection, let's see here, 71 essays. 71 essays that talk about what education can and should be. Friends, I have taught at secondary and university levels as of the recording of this video for 34 years. You're going to find very little in this book, little if at all, that is negative. I'm not here to bash education systems. I'm not here to bash bad experiences. What this book does is to lift up actual stories of students and teachers and schools and administrators who are doing it right, who are, for me, education is a shared journey of discovery. And I've got stories in here, real stories of real people who are on that shared journey of discovery and who are discovering life, who are experiencing the true, the good, and the beautiful. Yes, inner city, suburban, rural schools, large and small, math class and Latin class and PE class. It can happen anywhere and with anybody. I couldn't be more excited about this book. Now, I got some requests for you guys. Right? Usually I end my videos with questions for you to think and ponder about. I actually have some requests for you guys, okay? So if you don't mind, you've been with me for a while. I appreciate you very much, and I've got a request, or several requests, from you. Please, if you're interested, follow my new social media accounts. I've got a number of social media accounts and various things as Teacher of the Year, and of course you know my Pipe channel. But I've launched a whole new series of social media accounts. X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Those are the four that I'm interested in. That's what I do. At Stephen R. Perk. STEVENRPERK. Stephen R. Perk. So, now my other accounts are big and lots of followers and all that kind of stuff. These are new. They're just getting started. So please, if you're interested, follow me on one or all of those accounts that you like. Already we've got lots of stuff going out about the book, and we're going to have lots of dedicated videos about the book and stuff about speaking engagements I'm going to be doing and things about education in general. So I think you're going to enjoy, if you have an interest in education, I think you're going to enjoy any or all of those accounts. Next thing. If you're interested, buy one. Come on, man. It's a book. I'm an author. I like it when people buy my books. Okay? Well, buy one. Or two. I've already had people telling me that they have bought one for themselves and they bought one for some of their children who are in education, or maybe young parents, veteran teachers, new teachers, again, administrators, principals, assistant principals, superintendents, whatever. So buy one for yourself, buy one for a friend or a family member who might need a little of that inspiration about what education really can, and I would say should be. Then, if you like it, tell me about it, but especially on the reviews. So the publisher, Co-Grounded, has said to me, he said, hey, when you're promoting the book, be sure you tell people to leave reviews, whether it's Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Let me go ahead and share with you the quick links. If you want to buy this book, you're going to find it on Amazon, tinyurl.com, golden waffle Amazon, or tinyurl.com/golden waffle Barnes Noble. Find it at either one of those. If you like it, leave a good review. The publisher would appreciate it, and ultimately it helps me. Now, you say, Steve, is this just a money grab? Friends, I've mentioned this before. I don't know how much money I make. Is that because I'm so fabulously wealthy? No. It's because it's not the most important thing in my life. Fortunately, my wife does. My wife takes care of all the finances for our house. I'm not in this about making money. But there are ideas in this book that I want to share with as many people as possible. I believe in the ideas and the essays in this book. I wouldn't have written it otherwise, and I certainly wouldn't have put my name on the cover. If you say, hey, you know what, this is really exciting, and I'm on the local school board, or I'm at our church, and I would love to have you come and speak to us, Steve. Go to my website, StephenRPerkins.com. And you're going to find out how you can invite me to speak at your function, your organization, which I'd be happy to do. Because, friends, you hear me say this on this channel often. It's not enough just to sit around and complain about this issue or that. We got to do something. Well, this is my attempt to do that, or one of my many attempts to do that in education. Education can be better, maybe, than what you see. And this shows you some examples of how that can happen. Friends, you know I love you guys. So as Malcolm Guite likes to say, I do these little things in order at last to do nothing. Or as I like to say in Latin, Parva ago ut tandem, nihil agam. Folks, have a waffle day.